What is up, everybody? It is Tyler, aka Tovarsh Gaming, bringing you episode 3 of TheoryCraft. We are back. So we're gonna get this game started. Now we are changing it up a little bit today. We have had, 2 different episodes where we did just a list of 3 units for the players to build. So I have a Protoss versus Protoss today, and we're gonna be changing up the how we're doing things a little bit. So instead of imposing specific units for our players to build, we actually have just kind of a series of other restrictions. So the first restriction is that the player must do early aggression, harass, or cheese before expanding. The exception to the exception to this rule is if a player gets early harassed so hard that they are unable to recover and harass themselves before a good expansion time, then after the 6-minute 30 mark, they are allowed to expand. So you can either expand after doing early aggression or after the 6-minute 30 mark. Now, the next imposition is no gateway or warpgate units, barring Templars, after the 6-minute 30 mark. So what this means is that the players can't build Sentry, Stalker, or Zealot after the 6-minute 30 mark at all. The only units that they can build out of a Warpgate are the 2 types of Templar. And any remaining units that they have from before the 6-minute mark are okay. We're going to let that happen. And another side rule is if a player accidentally warps in a gateway unit just from instinct, they have to either sacrifice the unit or hide it and count it as an economic loss. Alright, so let's jump right in. Up here in the top right corner, we do have our first Protoss player, AsMoDeUs. I really like that name. I like how he did the capital and lowercase letters. I think that's really, really tight. So we have AsMoDeUs in the top right corner, and down here in the bottom left, we do have Foxcode from our first episode. Now, in our first episode, he was having some keyboard trouble or some hotkey troubles because he was playing on a different region, I think. So hopefully he's got that figured out this time. We do have the early gas going down from him at the 2-minute mark, and we see, gas at the same time from AsMoDeUs. So these players starting with a very even, very similar opening. These gateways are almost exactly even. So both these players having pretty strong macro right at the beginning of the game, definitely knowing what's going on. So let's see. I'm working with hotkeys here. You can see that I'm getting a little bit better with how we're progressing here, and me as a caster. So let's see if we get some of these probes in gas. We got 2 in gas, and then there's the 3rd, and we have 3 in gas up here. So we do have the cybernetics core and the cybernetics core. Okay, I'm loving how even these players are. We were just talking in episode 2 about how it was tough to find players that were evenly matched, and while one of these players is a high diamond and the other one is a high platinum, so far we do have the exact same macro. Is the second gas going down up here? Yeah. We do have the exact same macro, which I'm loving. That means that this game is going to be perfectly fair and even at the start. So let's see. We are warping in a Zealot here at the 3-minute 30 mark. Now, these players did ask me to let them know when the 6-minute 30 mark happens, so they don't mess it up, and so that they do a little bit of lag. So they don't mess it up, and because things might get a little chaotic, they might not be able to watch the timer so closely. So I'm going to do my best to remember to do that. I'm going to keep an eye out on the timer here. We do have Warpgate research coming down, and we have it for both players. It's not being chrono boosted though. We do have AsMoDeUs making his first macro mistake. Look at all this chrono, 66 chrono. He's got almost 3 chrono boosts in there. He's minus 5-6 energy on his chrono boost there to be using on this cybernetics core. We really want to see that chrono boost. Hopefully he doesn't get to 100% and totally start wasting it. Hopefully he can just expend it on some upgrades or something. So we do have the proxy pylon from Foxcode, and AsMoDeUs, we have his probe down here, probably in preparation for an expansion, but he is not going to be able to see this pylon excuse me, due to these bushes. So we'll see if okay, so we do have the early aggression going down. We have a Stalker and a Zealot versus a Stalker. Let's see how that goes. Oh, AsMoDeUs going to have to back out. Alright, so we do have this probe from Foxcode sitting here at the Zelnaga Tower, giving him an incredible amount of vision. And we do have 3 Stalkers out from AsMoDeUs, but one of them is rather damaged. We'll see how this goes. Looks like Foxcode going to slip up right by here, going to walk up here, probably see this probe, and I would assume warp in more units. Very exciting, and we do have the 3 Stalkers headed. Alright, so we're just going to have each player walk into each other's bases. We'll see Now, can Foxcode... Oh, I wonder if he saw these Stalkers heading towards his base. I hope he has something to thwart this early aggression. Okay, so we are at the 6-minute mark. We have the 4 Stalkers coming in, so these players just getting out as many gateway units as they can before the 6-minute 30 mark. We do have the Phoenix coming out of AsMoDeUs, and we have 2 more gateways coming out of or sorry, we have the jeez. They're both Protoss. This is hard. So we have the Phoenix coming from Foxcode. We have double gateway coming from AsMoDeUs. 6-minute 30 mark. Why can't I speak to all of them? Why won't it let me talk to... Oh, I can't actually tell. Okay, AsMoDeUs called it. Thank you, AsMoDeUs. We'll have to talk about that after game. I realized that this is not a replay. I'm actually... that's weird, though. I was able to talk to them in other games, but apparently not in this one. I'm not sure as to why that is. Now, we still have this pylon up here, but we're not going to see anything out of it for a while, I don't think, because now we can only build Templar units out of our gateways. So we do have this massive Stalker army with the Mothership Core coming down from AsMoDeUs, going to be doing an attack here on Foxcode, it looks like, grabbing the Zelnaga Tower. That vision just now getting split. Let's see if Foxcode responds to this at all, or if he's just going to let these Stalkers walk right up on his expansion. Oh my goodness, Foxcode, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? You're losing your expansion. What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Oh, is he going to have to cancel? He is. So we get the force cancel from AsMoDeUs on that expansion. That's going to be doing a heck of a lot of economic damage to our blue player, Foxcode. Now we do have a Void Ray coming out from him, and let's see what we got going on up here in AsMoDeUs' base. So I assume with this 4-gate that he was building, yes, he's definitely going to be going Templar. He's the Twilight Council down. Oh, we do have the Oracle in his base, though, kind of trying to reciprocate some of that economic damage that he just did to Foxcode. That is very exciting. So we do have the Templar Archives coming down. Going to see some High Templar. That is going to be super fun against... See how that works against some Sky Toss up in here. This is exciting, though. I did want to see a ground army versus Sky Toss. That is exactly what I was going for here when I imposed these specific restrictions on our players. So we actually are going to have High Templar coming out of both players. We'll see how these armies shape up. Now, the reason that I chose some of these restrictions is because I wanted to get us to be able to see some little bit of early aggression, because the 2 games that we've had before have been like very late game based, or at least we haven't seen much early aggression due to the fact that I haven't allowed a lot of tier 1 units. So what I wanted to do was allow tier 1 units at the beginning of the game so that we could see early aggression and force players to have to attack before they expand, so that we could definitely see something at the beginning of the game. And then I wanted that to basically skip the mid game and transfer straight into late game. So I do want to see a lot of tier 3 units. I want to see some crazy air toss. I want to see some Tempest, some carriers. I want to see some Immortal and crazy Templar stuff. This is bad for me, says Foxcode. Yes, it is. He's got to get his expansion up. AsMoDeUs is saying it's so confusing. It is a little tough. We have to give our players credit. Okay, the fact that they can stick to these restrictions and not play their normal builds, it can be very difficult for a player. So, you know, this isn't mono battles. It's not as simple as saying, okay, I can only make 1 unit. So it is difficult for them. They're trying to essentially play a Matter Latch like they've never learned anything from StarCraft. So it can be tough. We're very proud of our players for bearing with us and trying to get through these fun, ridiculous games. So we do have the double gas going up at the natural for AsMoDeUs, and it looks like we're going to have this expansion finally coming up with the double gas for Foxcode. Now, the interesting thing is that Foxcode said, this is not good for me, and that is because he lost his expansion. However, this expansion was not saturated. It only had 4 probes mining at it for just a second before Foxcode's expansion got up. And now there is still only 1 saturated gas and 3 probes on the mineral line actually going into gas here as well. So no probes on the mineral line here at this natural. And down here at Foxcode's natural, you'll see it's actually more saturated. And Foxcode managed to do some damage back here earlier with that Oracle. So actually, I think we might be seeing a slight economic advantage from Foxcode. I'd like to pull up the resources tab. Alright, so Right now, Foxcode definitely doing a little bit better management with his money. He's keeping that really, really low, which is great. I like seeing this double cannon right here. Going to be able to, this cannon is going to be able to attack things that come from this direction, and this cannon is going to be able to help out with any aggression that comes from over here behind these bushes or up here after these destructible rocks are killed. So I actually really like this cannon positioning. This is going to be very beneficial. Nice little way to pick off units if he's got his army down here to defend. And then, of course, we have the double cannon here in case there's any aggression from here. And any aggression from here that's caught in this choke point is going to get hit by both these cannons, depending on how far forward it moves, plus this cannon. So if he can sweep in his army, if he comes in from like this direction or this direction, he's going to be able to pin the enemy player down here in this choke point if he returns from here. And if he comes in from this side, he's going to have the benefit of having 2 cannons to back up his army from this direction and be able to push out of this choke point and hopefully get some damage done, as well as being able to warp in Templar up here that can attack the low ground. So this is actually an incredibly great defensive position that our player Foxcode has created for himself. He's got 2 more cannons going down here. I wouldn't suggest any more cannons. I really like the cannon placement from before, but I wouldn't take anything more than these 2. I think he spent a lot of minerals on cannons at this point. Doesn't really need that much defense. Needs to be worried. You see, we got Archons coming up from AsMoDeUs, so we need a stronger defensive army. Now, I do like these Void Rays, but the Archons are going to do a good job of cleaning those up. So we are going to use this Phoenix to go scout. I really like that. We do have a 3rd expansion coming up from Foxcode. So you'll actually see that even though Foxcode took the first economic damage, he's actually coming out really strong on as far as the economic line is concerned. You'll actually see the supply is 90 to 81, and Foxcode does have a few more pylons down. I'm worried about AsMoDeUs getting supply blocked. He does need to throw down a couple pylons here. However, okay, so we do have the 3rd coming down from AsMoDeUs. That's really good. He's going to be able to keep up with Foxcode on that. I do want to check out the production tab. So we do have an Archon on the way. AsMoDeUs is going to be working on his tier 1 armor, and we have from Foxcode the Archon and the Void Ray. So this army kind of looking scary, kind of going to deathball, walking right into this base. He must have scouted that with the Phoenix there. Just going to walk right up here, do the exact same, give AsMoDeUs a little bit of taste of his own medicine, force that cancel right there, so they are even on that 100 minerals lost from before now, and I will definitely say that Foxcode has the economic advantage. So this is shaping up to be a really awesome game, actually. We have the Death Ball. You know, it's funny, AsMoDeUs actually still has a lot more sentries than Foxcode does, which is going to be rather interesting. So we do have 2 more cannons coming down from Foxcode, not liking this anymore. You know, wait, never mind. We're at his 3rd. So yeah, these are okay. Let's see. Let's look at this cannon positioning. So these are going to be great. They can come from this choke point or this choke point. However, if there is an attack that comes down here and then sweeps upwards, he's going to be pretty undefended. But that's okay. He's doing a pretty good job. I'm really liking some of the placement from him. It does look like these probes are not getting micro. They're going to be doing some long range. Oh, I thought those... Yeah, long-range mining. I don't know if he's going to throw down another expansion. But AsMoDeUs has way too many resources. He's throwing down... okay, so he's trying to spend those minerals. He's throwing down some cannons, some pylons. Let's look at the tech over here. So we do have the double Stargate from Foxcode. Forge is going down for some upgrades. Let's see, what else we got going on here? What else do we have? Up here in AsMoDeUs' base, we do have the Robo. Let's see if that's actually creating anything, though. I don't see any Robo units so far. So that might be for tech purposes. He might be going for the late-game Colossi. I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of surprised that neither player went Dark Templar early, because that could have... Okay, so we do have an attack. We have Archon versus Void Ray. Wow, Archon v Archon, Void Ray, and then Stalker v Stalker. It looks like Foxcode's impressive Void Ray army going to be able to push these back. Definitely sniping some units up here. That's really good. Now, okay, the Void Rays are going to be a huge benefit right now. We do have the anti-air big time coming out of AsMoDeUs, but I'm worried that this Death Ball is getting a little too big. So what I'd like to see is a little bit more anti-air coming out of AsMoDeUs. If I was him, and again, I'm no pro StarCraft player, so I am not the best at strategy, but if I was him, I might be throwing down another Stargate. He has a ton of cash. I would be throwing down another Stargate and pumping out some Phoenix. You know, Phoenix are only 100 gas. He should be getting some gas up pretty soon. He does have 4 probes in this gas, needs to pull 1 and throw it on his mineral line. And then he needs to, he's got this double gas that he really needs to utilize. We do have some aggression down here, though. I don't know. Okay, so we have the, see, this is what I'm talking about, though. These units are going to get caught here in this choke point. We're going to have Foxcode coming down here, catching him in the act. Oh, my goodness, we have these cannons. See, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. This is perfect. This is exactly what Foxcode wanted to have. He just totally obliterated AsMoDeUs' army. That was absolutely gorgeous. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. I knew that this player was going to come down here, get caught in this choke point. He was going to get sandwiched between these two series of cannons, and Foxcode was going to be able to just come down from here. He was going to be defending his third. This is the location that his army was at. He was just going to be able to walk right down and totally cut them off at this choke point. They were caught between these cannons. They couldn't escape this direction, and even if they did, they would walk right into this cannon army and would not be able to escape up this way. They would have to go this way. Either way, Foxcode could have come down here and did what he did, or he could have come over here and actually cut them off at this choke point as well, getting them caught between cannons. So this defensive position that Foxcode has set up for himself is incredibly well thought out. That worked super well. He just obliterated AsMoDeUs' army. I'm going to be interested to see. I don't even think AsMoDeUs has enough production to catch up with this. These cannons going to be doing... Oh, these are... My bad. These are his Archons. Getting a little confused watching this double Protoss. So, Foxcode killing off these destructible rocks, getting ready to go ahead and throw down some aggression on this side. We'll see what happens here. We'll see if these High Templar can drop some storms. They're not dropping storms. They just walked right into the Void Rays and got taken out by the, oh no, by the Empowerment. Oh, that's terrible. That's going to be it for AsMoDeUs. Yep, there's the GG. That was extremely well played from Foxcode. I really enjoyed that. Oh my goodness. But you'll see alright, so we do have the GG. Foxcode takes the game. That was absolutely incredible. I just want to return to the game real quick and look at the fact that AsMoDeUs had a ton of resources. Look at this. A ton of resources that he could have been spending. Now, if he had been using those on his Stargates, if he had built another Stargate and pumped out some Phoenix, he would have been able to handle those Void Rays a lot better. This is a bit of a scary death ball of Void Rays, but it is only 7 Void Rays. If he could have pumped out 7 Phoenix and had that larger Stalker army, he would have had a really easy time pushing back that aggression and then just having an Archon, High Templar fight go down. Now, that would have been a lot easier for AsMoDeUs to survive, and if he had done that, he could have put down enough aggression to get down his third again and really start pulling from this gas, where he would be able to kind of come back and make something happen with some more units. He had this Robo Bay that he never even used. Those were wasted resources, and you'll see that Foxcode was just gearing up to just go all over the map with his bases. So that was really epic. That was an exceptional game. We're going to jump to the score screen now, and I'm going to jump into chat with our players, and we'll see you in just a second. Alright, cool. So, yeah, we're here right now. I got my 2 players. I have Foxcode. Say hello.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Where are you coming to us from?
The UK, of course, but some kind of northern part of the UK that southerners don't really call the UK, so, yeah.
Right on. Kind of like how Virginians get pissed when people think that we're paired with West Virginia. It's 2 different states. And then we have AsMoDeUs. What's up?
How's it? Hi, guys.
Where are you coming to us from?
Cape Town, South Africa.
That's awesome. I haven't had any Americans on the show. It's great. I love having people from all over the world. It's so tight. That's what I love about the gaming community, you know? You get people from all over just hanging out and having fun. But, so, I gotta say, that game went, exactly how I imagined it. That was so much fun for me, from my perspective.
So confusing.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I want to thank you guys and anybody who comes onto the show, because I know how hard it can be to just, undo everything you've been teaching yourself for as long as you've been playing StarCraft.
Exactly.
It's like, wanna warp in Zealots, wanna warp in Zealots.
Right.
That's all I was thinking. I'm sitting on 1,000 minerals. Zealots!
I was floating so many minerals, I'm like, okay, cannons. Should probably have put pylons and cannons up before I started getting that third. May have gone a bit differently.
Yeah, because towards the end there, you had a pretty burgeoning economy, but you weren't using it for anything.
Exactly, I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't expand. I was blocked quite badly there, so, probably should have either built a pylon and cannons at my first idea for the third, or gone for a different third, but yeah, very difficult mindset.
Yeah, it's funny, Asmo, you were kind of ahead in the beginning there. You had a larger tier 1 army, but as soon as Oh, what
The
was...
article got into my mineral line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was about to push and try and do some more damage. I assumed that you were going to be going Stargate. I didn't think that you would be going Robo. But once that article got into my mineral line, I couldn't really push much more. Then I was like, okay, I should probably try and get a Robo for an observer, but yeah, the grand plan just went all.
Well, it's funny because you had that. It seemed like you had the advantage when you took out the natural of Fox
Yes.
Code, but you threw up your expansion and then didn't saturate it. And by the time that you had your mineral line saturated, Fox Code already had his natural back and was
Correct.
more saturated
Well,
than
the
you.
reason I didn't saturate my expansion was because I lost so many probes to the article. I didn't get rid of it as fast
Right.
as I would have liked to.
Right, because that happened
So-
at about the same time, right?
Yeah, I had to resaturate my main.
Yeah. So, but that was super fun. It's funny, the choke point where the end happened. I was talking about that the whole time. Like, I saw it. Right from the first 4 cannons, I was like, something bad's gonna happen here. So that went exactly how I wanted it to, though. I really wanted to see like a strong ground army, which we had the Stalker Archon from AsMoDeUs versus kind of the heavier air army. Those Void Rays, though, man, they were deathballing. You know,
Yeah.
AsMoDeUs, you had the one.
Those were just on the game.
You had the one Stargate, and there was a point where it was before the death ball got completely obliterated at that choke point. It was like right before that. There was a point where you had a lot of minerals, not a lot of gas, but you still could have managed to squeeze out like another Stargate and like 4 or 5 Phoenix.
Yeah.
And he only
I
had
probably could have.
yeah, he had 6 Void Rays at that point. So if you had pumped out like 4 Phoenix and had that strong Stalker Archon army, I think he would have been able to hold that off a little better. But
What happened to me at that point of the game was I saw the cannons in the southeast corner of the map, and I assumed that he had just macroed extremely hard. I couldn't get any kind of scouting on. And when I saw what kind of army he had, I thought, okay, let me just go around. I actually need to go all in now if I've got any hope of this. Because I could just feel that I was a little bit too far behind.
Right.
So I was going to try and take the natural out, maybe try and take out some tech. The Stargate, it was too late, to be honest, to actually
Right.
achieve anything with it.
well, yeah,
I would go with the third base, sorry. I would say I just had a third base earlier, so I had 2 extra gas geysers, and with that kind of composition where all your units are just so gas heavy, it was just so useful.
Correct. Okay. No, Stargate was definitely the right play. I went 4-gate early, which was pretty dumb, because by the time the 4-gate was going to make any kind of difference, we were over the 6:30-minute mark, so the restrictions of the game stopped me from actually making any use.
yeah,
of
I tried saying
Stargate.
6:30 and it wouldn't let me talk to you guys.
I think I mentioned it at like 6:57.
Yeah, you did, I remember.
Yeah, because I was like freaking out. I was like, son of a bitch! Like it's the 7-minute mark and there's still like stuff. Warpgates, and it's funny because right at the 6:30 mark was when you warped in those second 2 gates, and I was like, well, the only thing that he can do off that is Templar, and I was like, he does have his Templar tech down, but I was like, I guess we're gonna see a Templar heavy build, and we did. You had more Archons than Foxcode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that was like awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better game. That was exactly what I wanted. So I really appreciate you guys coming out for this. Is there anything that you want me to promote? You got a Twitter account, YouTube, Twitch, website?
Follow me at Michael2907, playing a lot of StarCraft these days, and hoping to go like high amateur in South Africa and compete at high level in our local leagues.
Awesome. Follow him. Go ahead and post that in Twitter, and I'll make sure that's down in the comments.
Awesome.
Or not in Twitter, in Skype.
Cool. I will do that right now.
Foxcode, you got anything?
I suppose just my YouTube channel this time, SC Foxcode on YouTube. There's just a few tutorials, mainly for Protoss. Of course, I am a Protoss blend. If you want to check that out,
I looked
that's
at your
cool.
channel. I wondered why you didn't have us promoted the first time. It's got some cool stuff on there. So yeah, we'll have that down in the description as well. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, this has
Cool.
been
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And to all our viewers, we want to thank you for watching. It's episode 3. Of course, we're doing iterations. First couple of games we did the different compositions of 3 different types of units. This time we did more of like controlling the macro style of things. So we're gonna be playing with it. We're gonna be doing all kinds of crazy different absurd strategies, and we're gonna be having a lot of fun in the meantime. So thanks for coming out, and we'll see y'all next time.